down the line. Um, okay, I guess we can start, and whoever is joining, we'll just join later. So hi everyone, and thanks for joining the ninth community call of B.Protocol. Try to hold these calls every month, um, and today we have quite a lot of things to discuss. Hope we have the time to go through all of them, and if not, we might get another call um, next 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 week. Sorry. So we'll start with a short update about integrations, and then a bit more about the risk subDAO, and yeah, we'll go through the contributor circle, which there has been some discussions about. I'm not sure who's speaking. Um, Yeah, sorry, not being concentrated. So we'll go through the contributor circle. We have a few suggestions there, and someone from Dework supposed to join us as well to give us a demo. So basically, lots of stuff. If we'll have time, Austrian will give us a short review on the good ghosting proposal that he put up on the channel. So yeah, let's start. Um, Yaron, do you want to go to the integration update?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, okay. So, first of all, as you probably heard, so like in the last month or so, our main focus was building something, spent a lot of effort building something around Rari Capital. We plan to offer kind of native support or integral support to projects to build lending markets there. We already had one launch integration partner, which was Pickle. Yeah, so basically we completed all the work there, and then 1 week before we went live, Larry got wrecked, got hacked. So on the positive side, obviously it's good that it happened before we went live. Otherwise, our market could also potentially suffer. On the other front, we spend a lot of work on it, and it's not clear, even when they do fix their bug, at least right now the discussions are that they might change their focus, might deviate from the original plan to support permissionless lending markets. So there's a lot of uncertainty there. On the positive side, the work we did there, the development work, could be applied also for other setups. So now Midas, which is kind of a friendly fork on non-Ethereum chains, so they are very excited to work with us on that. But their launch, I mean, this platform is still not live, so we don't really have a schedule there. Yeah.
Yaron, maybe adding one thing for the Fuse hack, and what comes out of that is that, at least from the discussions and the community call, I think yesterday or the day before that, and they kind of, at the broader perspective, they kind of resonate the same point of view that we as B.Protocol have, which says that anyone can open a fuse pool or a lending market today, or fork compound, but managing the risks, besides the smart contract risk, are something that not everyone is actually has the knowledge, the abilities to actually do. So we don't know how Fuse will come out of that, but currently they are fixing their bugs, and definitely, um, they definitely say that we need to focus on how we manage the risks better in lending markets in DeFi, and yeah, that's kind of a good approach for us, I think.
Yeah. So now Midas, really like us and really excited to have us integrated, but they are not live yet. So there it's basically the ball is on their side. We always, we have 100 Finance as currently like the closest integration partner. So they launch on new chains, we follow them. We also migrate the new architecture over Phantom and Arbitrum. And recall that in the new architecture, users actually deposit their yield-bearing tokens rather than the raw assets. So it's expected to increase the TVL a bit, but yeah. So that's on the immediate, schedule. So we've been to East Amsterdam. So roughly speaking, many projects are excited, and want a backstop, want maybe also kind of risk analysis support. So right now we are talking to Ovix, which is a new lending platform on Polygon. One thing which is interesting about Ovix, and we're also now talking with Yeti, is there that actually to provide stability pools, people have to stake their tokens. So it might give rise to some new structures. So the backstop actually has some voting power, but these are still in preliminary discussion phases. So yeah. Yeah, okay, so one bullet I forgot to cover. So of course, now that Fuse is hacked, there's also not much sense of launching an affiliation program for Fuse integration, because right now there's no Fuse. Yeah. Yeah. In parallel, and given the Fuse hack, it's also quite good that we focused also on that and not everything was in Fuse. So say unofficially, but kind of spawned a risk subDAO, which composed, and it's still kind of unofficial framework of risk analysts and professionals. And the first report there was actually they did for B.Protocol. So first of all, I was also included in this activity, of course. So we build a mathematical model to run simulations, to stress test lending markets. And one of the main contributions from the B.Protocol side is that we could simulate how a lending market could behave with and without B.Protocol, and the expected improvement when having a backstop like B.Protocol. Now that we have such framework, so the plan is kind of a subDAO to also do risk assessment, also independently from B.Protocol. So they already have another customer which is not B.Protocol. Soon they will have a public report on that as well. And the synergy there is, eventually we hope it will be something, which is respectful and valuable by the community, and, which will make it easier for them and for us to raise awareness for B.Protocol and the risk mitigation it offers. Because right now, projects are kind of clueless, not only about liquidations, as we've seen, in a lot of the economical hacks, so-called in Rari Capital. So you see a lot of pool operators that are setting funny parameters, completely unaware of even what a lending market is. These consultation services are very needed also with B.Protocol, and once they gain reputation, it will be easier for us to promote B.Protocol, with their reputation and their education material. So yeah, so that's like the expected synergy from there. Still, it's kind of an informal framework. We do hope to formalize it in the next couple of weeks, and then also allow community contributions there, and maybe adding more people to that framework. Yeah. You done?
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. So just everyone who's joining in, please make sure you're muted, so we won't have any background noises. Um, Yeah. So next thing we wanted to do is wanted to discuss about the contributor circle that a few discussions been held over the chat in the last few days during last week probably, and the closure of the third epoch. Maybe first thing will be to say kind of a formal welcoming to Austrian guy who's been our circle chef for the last epoch and going forward. So first of all, say I personally want to say thank you to Austrian for the work that he's been doing in kind of coordinating everything around the contributor circle and going forward. And as it looks currently in also in other directions. So thanks for all the work that you've been doing. Um, and maybe just a short background on how the contributor circle was actually launched and what are the goals for that going forward. So just a short background. It started as a growth squad with three community members, Adam, Tragedy Struck, and Ramaruro. And after 3 months of work, we tried, we kind of looked at how to actually encourage more members to join in and participate and contribute more into the community. And kind of this is how the contributor circle was created. We had Formally, we had three epochs, but basically only two. The first one was kind of a success, I think, according to the community and the feedback that we got. Lots of activity. Discord was kind of had a facelifting, and we got the bots from Jensen and some content material, and it was kind of a good proof of concept. And then the second epoch came kind of in parallel together with East Denver in February and Easter, and I think things kind of slowed down. No, Easter was this one. So it was just around East Denver, and things kind of slowed down. And then that was the point where we realized that we're missing kind of a pivotal position, which is the coordinator of the circle. We took the current workflow, which we have, which combines coordinate with a Trello board. We took it from the creators DAO that we used to work with, and we really liked what they did there and tried to copy paste that into our community. But we kind of left out one of the probably important parts of that, which is someone who actually coordinates everything during the epoch, make sure that tasks are actually kind of being fleshed out and people are actually working on them and yeah, and basically making sure that everything is in place. And that that was kind of where Austrians stepped in and kind of took the responsibility on that with the approval of the community. So we had a third epoch, which just ended a week ago. We had a few active members, but I have to admit, not a lot of engagement on the contributions that were made. So kind of made at least myself kind of rethink about what we actually tried to achieve there. Just to let everyone know, the growth fund currently holds roughly 8.5 thousand B.Pro with roughly 50K USDC, which were allocated from the DAO nearly probably some 8 months ago, 6 months ago. And is managed through a multi-sig, 2 out of 3 multi-sig, which runs by the Genesis Growth Squad, Tragedy, Atom, and Yaron as the third key. So this is basically just kind of a background where we are currently. So as I mentioned, the current flow is we hold the discussions on Discord, but the tasks themselves are being managed on Trello, which is another application. So people who want contributors who wants to join in needs to log into Trello or sign up for Trello and realize what they can do and figure out the different tasks and so on. And the rewards eventually are being done over Coordinate, which has its own kind of gaps. Not a lot of room for actually sharing what everyone was working on. And yeah, we felt, I think, already from the start, but in this last epoch, it was very clear that there are some gaps. So we started discussions about new tools and what we can do better. I think the problem, at least as when I look at them, and I'll be happy to open that for discussion. Um, Basically, it's just too many tools going, back and forth from different platforms, different tools. Well, what we really want is just kind of to encourage contributions. Second thing is kind of we took an approach deliberately of an open gate, meaning anyone can join into the coordinate circle, into the Trello board, creating whatever tasks, executing on whatever tasks they want, and it kind of brings the quality, the supervision of the quality floats to the end, meaning it's those who actually allocate their the rewards on coordinate needs to make sure which contribution that was made, what's the quality of that, and how much really do we want to actually allocate for that, and kind of show the appreciation of that contribution. Um, and also, I think something that we need to kind of sharpen is the definition process for the tasks. What we do, how we do that, who is doing what, and basically probably starting from the why. Like, why are we doing what we're doing through the contributors circle? Um, so yeah, just some time. Um, so Lonis just joined in. Lonis is from Dework. Um, so I reached out to coordinate, which we've been in touch with the team since we started working with them. And yeah, so Lonnie, you just got in just at the right timing. Um, so we asked kind of to see a short demo of. We heard that Coordinate and Dework have announced an integration, a collaboration of the two platforms, and it seemed like it's a good opportunity for us to maybe shift from Trello and get that kind of native integration between the two different platforms. So we'll be very happy to get some kind of a review and maybe a short walkthrough on how things look like on this integration.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me. Can you hear me well or?
Yeah, it's fine.
Awesome. Um, exactly. So we yeah. So I'm from Dework, so we're kind of like a Web3 native Trello board, you could say. Where basically, yeah, you can go and track your work, get paid in crypto, build a profile, also have all of this synced to Dework basically, to coordinate rather. Actually share my screen and show you real quick how the flow looks like. Let's see here. So can you see my screen?
It's coming up. Yeah.
Awesome.
But
yeah. So yeah. Sorry.
No,
were
it's
you saying
cool.
something? Or?
Yeah, we can see.
So like many in this room, I was myself a DAO contributor for quite some time before starting Dework. So I was the first engineering contributor at City DAO, which is this DAO that bought land in Wyoming and starting a city. Basically, while contributing there, that I felt that we didn't have a good way of managing our tasks and bounties. We of course tried Trello and we tried a bunch of other tools, but there were a few things that were missing, like having wallet login, being able to build a profile, being able to add bounties if you want to, and also have this list where people can find your DAO and your Trello board. That's kind of what we're trying to solve for. And on a high level, we have like two different kinds of use cases with Dework. It's the bounty use case and it's the task tracking use case. So if we look at someone like Amazon DAO, for instance, for using Dework, they didn't have too many bounties, but using Dework, they've been able to put out hundreds of bounties for everything from writing code to doing Discord moderation to doing marketing. But then we can look at another DAO like OpenDAO that don't use bounties really. They mainly use Dework as a way to do task tracking. So they have almost hundreds of tasks here that they track, and then they pay out in other ways through like Coordinate or through salary or whatever. But they basically use this as a Trello board. I'm not sure why I have bad internet. But yeah, that's on a high level. Those are two main different use cases we're seeing. Just to give you a sense of how it looks like. Yeah, my internet is complete trash for some reason. But yeah, that's on a high level, the different use cases. Also, if you have a very like active quote unquote Trello board, then you'll show up here and where hundreds of people find new DAOs every day, basically. If you do have bounties as well, then those will show up here in this list with hundreds of other bounties, and people find a lot of work to do here. Basically, how you would set up the board is very straightforward. You could just create a DAO like this. And I'd get to how we integrate with Coordinate, of course, soon as well. But just to give you an overview, you have these projects here, are part of like the org, and here you can create individual projects for the tech team and the ops team and the community team and so forth. Then you can create these from scratch, or you can import your existing stuff from Notion, or in your case, Trello. So you can basically do a one-time import of all the stuff you have currently in Trello to Dework. If you want to try it out for anything. We also have the sync with GitHub, where you can import all the GitHub issues to Dework, and you can sync them. So if you change something in Dework, it changes in GitHub at the same time. So you can basically live in two places at the same time. Here you can very easily just basically create a task like make docs for a new focus. You can do most of the things you would normally do. And you can also, if you want to attach a bounty, you don't need to attach a bounty. It's probably not useful for the Coordinate integration, but if you have some tasks that requires bounties or whatever, you can just add that here and pay in Ether or USDC or add your own DAO-specific tokens. So you just add your contract address here of your token, and then that will be added. But yeah, let's just do USDC for now. You can also peg to USD if you have volatile tokens. So you can say I'll pay 100 of my DAO tokens in USDC. Basically when I'm trying to create this task, I get reminded here that I need to have some way of choosing what kind of task type it is. So we have a few different modes here, and this was one of the key things we wanted to change in relation to Trello. Because in Trello, you can manually assign yourself or others, or they can assign themselves. And and that's good. That's crucial to have. So that's how you do it here. But we also allow people to, if they want to apply, like new people outside of the community, they can just go to Trello and assign themselves if you have no context, but they can apply easily. So what then happens is if we create this task, this gets added to the backlog using the Discord integration. You don't even need to go to this Trello board. You just can stay in Discord and get the ping of this new task. So we have a very tight Discord integration. As a new person, you basically can see this board. You can read about this stuff, and you can basically apply to claim this task. Like as a new person, so I can say I'll do this. I'll have it done by early next week, and I can say I've done this before. Just check my profile. So I can basically apply there. Let's see here. Let's see. I'll just So I applied to this task here. There was something that happened there. Not sure exactly what. But basically here now you get this list of new people that have found out about your task. So this is a great way of allowing new people to come in and directly work on stuff and not need to talk too much or just don't have any access. But here everyone have access, and you can look at their profile and see what they've been up to previously across those. So this is just a demo profile, but a real profile, for instance, looks something like this, where you'll be able to see the work that's been completed across all Trello boards effectively. As long as they are public, you can make your Dework board private, and then of course only people you select will be able to see it, and it won't show up in their profile. But as long as it's public boards, it will show up in their profile. You can see the reviews if there are those. And we also pull in the Discord roles that you have in the different servers, so you can see that, okay, this DAO trusts them as a top level contributor. Then I'm definitely want to go ahead and work with that person. So yeah, just a few more things to share, but I'm curious to hear any thoughts or feedback or questions so far.
Yeah, at least from my end, it looks amazing. But yeah, we'll leave to others maybe for any questions if they have, and we'll be happy also to see how the coordinate integration
for sure.
is looking like.
I think myself, and also experience with direct.
Jensen, now can't hear you well.
You can you?
Oh, I can't hear you well.
Excellent.
Maybe try and write something in the community call chat. So if there are any questions.
So very impressive demo of the Dework platform. Thanks for being here and showing it to us. A question would be, as it is now, we work with the Trello, and somewhat a beauty of Trello is it's so open to collaboration. So you said earlier, okay, some new contributor can claim a task, and he writes, okay, I'm finished with it by early next week. But is it also possible to have tasks that are basically open to anybody who wants to join in, or if it is discovered, okay, maybe we wouldn't meet the deadline if only one specific person is working on it? Would it be possible to have it kind of open to any collaboration, like easily, not even by having some moderator open the task up or something, but somebody applies, hey, can I chime in? That's something I enjoy doing as well.
For sure. That's a really good question. So yes. So have these different task types or assignee types that tries to accomplish that what you're saying. So we have this application thing, which, as you say, you need some approval. We have another kind of which is multiple submissions, which allows you to run contests basically. This allows anyone to just submit the docs or the code or the designs, and then you can pay based on the quality. So you can do that as well, and then anyone can just do it. And so the good thing is anyone can do it, and you can get paid based on the quality. But the bad thing is that you might have double work sometimes. So one way we have to combat that is the Discord roles, and this is very unique. So as I assign someone that's kind of like Trello style application process, the kind of like the old Gitcoin, multiple submissions, which is maybe, I don't know, there are a bunch of contest sites, bounty contest sites. But then we also have the Discord roles. So what that basically allows you to do is we import all the roles you have in your server currently from your Discord to Dework, and now you can choose them here. And then you can say that if you have this role, if you have a gold role or a token holder role or whatever, dev role, then you'll just be able to claim this task without even applying. So I now added these roles. So Robert here, I don't have the dev role or token holder role, or I have the dev role but not the token holder role. So now I can only apply. But if we add his role, and we can add as many roles as we want here, we can add every one role if we want to as well. But now I'll just be able to claim it, as you see here. So now it's my task, and I can.
But can a few different contributors can claim the same task, or is that just for a single person to work on?
If you have several people, then it would be multiple. Or do you mean that they would collaborate, or that they would work on the same thing?
Yeah.
Collaborate. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, so you can assign as many people as possible as you want to. Can work on a task. So I can assign 2 things here, or you can have subtasks for like design. Yeah, this is a bit awkward. That's that's clearly a bug.
We are happy. We are part of making the work better.
You only see these bugs in demos. Like otherwise, people never talk about the bugs. But yeah, this is clearly a bug. Usually, you can just add subtasks here.
I have a question. Is task creation, is that for moderators only?
Yes, great question. Let me show you that. So basically, you can go here. Can you hear me or?
Yeah.
Right. So you can go to permissions here, and here you can say here you can create very granular permissioning structures. So you can say that so this is a public board, so anyone in Web3 will be able to basically see it. So you can't say that anyone can create tasks because that would create chaos. But you can say that if you're like a dev in the server, you're a token holder, or whatever, you can add as many roles as you want here. Then you can create tasks. If someone doesn't have a role, you can also add them here manually.
And the roles are Discord roles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, so this yeah.
And can we just have a quick overview of the coordinates part? if that's
Yeah, of
possible?
course.
Yeah.
That's the most important for this call. So let's see here how I can show that in the best way. See here. So basically how the integration works is that you can go to admin and go to settings. Then here you can connect to Dework. So you can basically choose a board to connect to. So we create our new DAO. Let's create that here. And let's connect to that board. So let's actually settings. I'll just remove this the old one, so we can start with a new one. I'll connect here. What do we call it? We call it our new DAO. So our maybe it takes a couple of minutes to sync. I didn't think about that. All right, let's take the old one then. DAO. Too many. Okay, let's change this. Hopefully this syncs directly. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. So you can just choose an organization to connect to. Integration connected. That's a success. So connected, and here's where you allocate. And as you see, allocate is kind of hard to know which has what's been happening here. Currently, we're doing it manually, so you can go to Trello. But basically, now with the integration, you'll be able to see here that. Let's see here. See, this is actually not a bug. I believe this is just my internet being bad.
Can you just describe what we're supposed to see once we go into
right? Sure. So this is basically what happens. Sorry about that. So we create these two people, myself and Robert. They have now created this. We completed this docs task. And right when we completed it in Coordinate, they show up on our profiles here. And in this case, we both worked on it. And I can just click here to go to the task to see more data. Internet doesn't work for some reason.
Yeah, so it connects directly. So it gives you a link to the card itself on Dework, so you can easily kind of bounce between the two and just have a better understanding of what was actually been done on this specific task.
Exactly.
Yeah. And still, the allocation will be made through Coordinate as it used to be in like on a regular Coordinate circle.
Exactly.
Right.
So in this case, we saw that two people were assignees. Of course, you might have a reviewer as well, especially in tech tasks. You have maybe a peer reviewer or whatever. So if we now complete one of those tasks, website here, that will also sync here. We see that Robert have completed the website task, but Lonis have actually reviewed it. And that should also show up because reviewing PRs and also reviewing non-tech work, it's also work.
Yeah. Cool.
I have a question. When an epoch ends, how are the tasks assigned to a specific epoch? Is that the done date or what is?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. So it's the done date, exactly. So here on the task, you can read that this was done the 4th of May, and then we just check in Coordinate, does 4th of May, is that part of this epoch? If not, then we don't show it. If it is, then we show it like this.
Lonis, that's super cool, and thanks for the demo. Even though with low Wi-Fi, we still had, I think, a great demonstration of both of Dework, which at least myself, I can say I never actually digged in. So thanks for that, and also for the coordinate integration, which seems very seamless. Um, so yeah, we have a few other issues we still want to discuss today on the call. So if there are any more questions, please we'll give it another few minutes and then we'll try to move on. But that was a brilliant demo. So thanks for that.
Right, you mean so that they show up for this current for the current epoch, or?
No, more specifically, so we got many tasks that are done basically in Trello, but instead of all consistently having a finished state assigned, the Trello cards, I mean, we kind of moved that into a column done. Okay, so in Trello, it's kind of obvious, okay, these tasks are done, but probably it's advised to set a proper ending date for the tasks that are really done and won't be continued in any other future epoch before attempting to import all the data from Trello to Dework. Otherwise, we would have many tasks we would have to manually sort out, right?
Oh, I see. That's a great question. So is the Trello board public? Can I? Is it possible to look at, or? Yeah, you have the Trello link here. So yeah. So basically, what we do is that we actually sync the right statuses. So if you have a done column, yeah, I see it. You have a done column here in Trello. That will actually put these tasks in the done column in Dework as well. So there won't be any double work. And also, of course, the integration will not change anything in Trello. It will just move it to Dework, but it was like we won't change anything in the Trello board. We can't change anything in the API. So it will just put. So currently you have like how to start here, and those would probably be added to those steps could be added manually to the project description in Dework. Column would just be added to the Dework to do doing work in progress would also be added to the in progress in Dework. So yeah, they would sync.
And I assume we can just do whatever manual changes we need after importing the Trello board. We can just do that on Dework itself and just make whatever adjustments that are needed.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
All right. Any last questions for Lonis? Well, basically, Lonis is on our board now, so we can just tag him with any further questions, I assume, if that's okay, Lonis.
Yeah, 100% for sure.
Yeah. So again, thanks for the demo, and definitely looks promising for us to start using very soon.
Thanks for having me. And as you said, just feel free to tag me or DM about any questions or thoughts.
Cool. Thanks again. So I think if it looks like, and of course we can discuss this further after the call over the chat in the growth channel about exactly the workflow and when to start and all the other questions that might still be open. But I wanted to take just a few minutes to kind of try and align kind of the work that is being done by the contributors during the epochs, and the third epoch was ended a few days ago, and the next one, suppose we said we will have a few days in between epochs, kind of to reorganize basically and get exactly those kind of feedback time to figure out, what would be the best moves going forward. I kind of took the time. It's already been discussed in many places, but kind of just um, I know to clarify, the mission statement. I had a call with Austrian guy. It was his kind of suggestion after an update call we had, kind of to put things up front for everyone to kind of sink in. So just so we know what B.Protocol is. So B.Protocol, at least as we see that currently, is a democratized liquidation engine for DeFi, using a backstop liquidity protocol to unlock better capital efficiency while keeping the DeFi ecosystem secured. This is basically what we're doing. This is what B.Protocol is all about. Of course, there's a long-term vision, and but being kind of a go-to place for a backstop, being integrated everywhere across DeFi. But that's the current mission statement, and what we actually working on currently and want to grow. And I kind of made three bullets on the growth path that we've been working on in the past probably year or so, where the main goal is basically integrating different platforms, different protocols who have a liquidation mechanics into B.Protocol using the backstop AMM. But other growth paths are actually about educating. When we speak, and we speak with a lot of platforms, there's, and definitely on the wider perspective of the kind of the regular users in DeFi, there's a huge educational gap on the importance, a bit of what Yaron was mentioning regarding the risk sub-DAO, and that was part of the reason why it kind of was a natural move, is about discussing and educating about the risks in DeFi. Kind of like smart contract risk is today very clear to anyone who's just getting into the ecosystem, and users know about that. They don't know how to read the audits, and but they know they need to check for that. Does the protocol haven't been audited? Does it have an insurance maybe on its smart contracts? So this is something we want to push forward also on the economical risk. And this is something I think is another growth path for B.Protocol, with and without the risk sub-DAO. And then basically, the third one is kind of obvious, but just growing awareness in DeFi to B.Protocol, where we are active multi-chain currently, focusing on EVM compatible networks, but basically, any platform with the liquidation engine in place, can be a good fit for us. So these are kind of the three things. Of course, open for more insights if anyone has something about that. But just to cover, kind of, what we're aiming for, we want DeFi users basically to ask their platform admins, these very basic questions. Do they take economical risk seriously, like they do with smart contract risk? Do they take the measurements that are needed to kind of improve their situation or mitigate whatever risks which they encounter? Are they aware of those risks in general? And of course, the final question would be, do they have a backstop or a B.Protocol backstop? So this is kind of a flow we wanna create in DeFi in general, and specifically in whatever platforms that are relevant for us for integration. And from that, I kind of took the goals for the contributor circle, which are, at least as I look at that, is kind of going in two different paths. One is to help educate the ecosystem, and the other one is just to spread the news. So one might be more of content creation, the other one more kind of what used to be a frog army. I think it was dissolved, but kind of growing the awareness together, as all of us, or most of us, I assume, are also active in other communities in DeFi, and we can bring this up. It's a very delicate thing, without when it becomes spamming, but just bring it up as something which is relevant as for discussion. And I think all the different initiatives that were discussed here recently over the chat, about the NFTs, about the liquidation bot, the good ghosting one, all of them are kind of growing the awareness of B.Protocol, of of risk, of what liquidations are all about, why it's important, and so on. And maybe the last thing is just to remember that we are no longer in the meme coins era. I think DeFi kind of grew, matured in a way, and quality is crucial. And we need to verify and realize how we put up a workflow which makes sure that the quality of the content that we spread around is at the right kind of level. Um, so yeah, that's basically open for questions, for suggestions, for feedback, ideas. We'll take just a few minutes and can of course have a separate call just to kind of articulate that or do that asking over chat. But I think that's kind of the main things that we need to figure out. Um, yeah. So mics are open. If anyone wants to say something, if you can't speak, you can write it in the community call chat. Yeah.
Hey, just a question on that partnership with Rook. Right, Keeper DAO, has there been any conversations, any updates, anything noteworthy?
Yeah, maybe I'll take it. So, like, I think one of the issues right now is that so beside our liquidity integration, all of our current other deployments are on L2s or other chains, and they are still looking for keepers there. This is why it's kind of stuck. We did have some thoughts, maybe do something on Rari together on L1 on mainnet, but now Rari is also on pause. But the integration, was executed. They protect the liquidity pools. They deposit $5 million there. But right now they can extend it only to other mainnet integrations and not to other chains.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks.
So if there are any, suggestions or ideas or any feedback on the contributor circle, on the goals, on the path, but there's definitely not something we can actually get, I think maybe, during such a call, which has a lot of updates, and we might want to have kind
I'd
of,
like to say something.
yeah, sure.
Should I proceed?
Yeah.
What I want to say is that, from what I saw from the work, it's okay that that they should give it a try. That's what I want to say. Another thing is that it's just like a B.Protocol, the Twitter page. I'm trying to say if there is any way that can be able to promote the page so that it will reach more people on social media. You know, Twitter is a powerful tool in blockchain. So I mean, if like contributors, if they can be able to post things about B.Protocol on Twitter, it's okay. At the same time, it's very nice if the page can be promoted. That's my suggestion.
So at least from the formal Twitter account of B.Protocol, we try and maintain kind of a very clear professional content that we spread for our followers. Definitely not pumping anything and nothing that's related to trades and pricing and things like that. So it's very kind of focused on on integration, on what the actual protocol uh, is doing, and kind of the main messages that the protocol brings into DeFi.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of the main perspective, or at least for us, for having the from the formal account of B.Protocol.
Yeah. All right. All right.
Any other questions or suggestions? And again, I think maybe kind of more short calls on specific things and trying to figure out things in between calls over the chat might be a better way to actually get some kind of um, alignment. I don't know if that's the right kind of word for that, but yeah, getting everyone focused on the same things. And I think we've made a great progress in the last circle, just by having the discussions about that and kind of opening everything for discussion, and think this is how we got into Dework, and now we need to discuss how exactly to do the move. Austrian, I want to express it here also, probably do it also on the chat, but I think there's we don't need to wait for actual kind of, there's no governance, to be made over governance decisions on, how to do that. I think we have kind of the freedom on trying the best of our understanding and just take things forward. And yeah, fail fast and move to the next thing. Kind of that was the approach from since we started.
Yes, exactly, Aitan. Thanks for the kind words. We still have to optimize, as you outlined in the start of the call. And I just wanted to say, very excited to be here and very exciting to be with you. Thanks for all the work you put in and the time. And I mean, not only you, Aitan, but all the contributors.
Yeah, definitely. So I think as time is kind of filled out a full hour, we did want to go through the good ghosting proposal that Austrian put up, but we'll probably take it on a different call or just put it up over the chat. Maybe open kind of one of those threads to actually discuss that specifically. I think we should look also at Pull Together, which I think offers something similar but from a different angle. So we can compare those two, and maybe there are other alternatives that we can discuss. And yeah, just try something out. That's always been working, just to try it and see how it works. So if you have any more questions, that's the time. And if not, we'll just close this call for now. And yeah.
I have a quick question for Yaron. Was there any timeline on the 100 finance migration, and which one is most up to date?
Yes. So actually, I've already deployed the Phantom new BEM. Hopefully, it will be next week. I mean, obviously, they will announce it and also deprecate the rewards for the old ones. No, I mean, right now what you have is up to date. It's not deployed yet, but for Phantom, probably next week. For Arbitrum, there's no date. I mean, we need to first finalize the Phantom and also IOTX, which will be new. So maybe Arbitrum like a week after that. We'll see how it goes.
I've got a question or something to add, if I may. So, what's going on the NFT side? Is this something hot? Is it something that B.Protocol should further, push forward? And should we flesh out a proper proposal to actually get in touch with a reputable artist and create artwork for NFTs for B.Protocol.
Well, Adam is not here, and he kind of took lead on that. Definitely should take the discussion on the chat probably. I took the initiative and reached out to someone, and I got some kind of a basic proposal from them, like actual drawing. I'll share it later on Discord. And just as far as as ice. So the kind of I gave a very basic spec, and they created something kind of a draft. So I'll share it later. But yeah, again, I think it's probably getting the good quality ones, the hyped ones will be either expensive or just will take a long time just to get their reaction. So I think again, if we just want to test it out and see how we can actually distribute some NFTs for whoever is being liquidated by the protocol, we can just start and see how it looks, and if it gains some traction, can definitely give it kind of a more professional touch. But that's just my kind of 2 cents.
Can you hear me okay now? Not working.
Yeah, it seems like it's working.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like the idea of still working doing the T liquidation. I think Adam reached out to artists to get some samples of what they would like or what they would offer.
Yeah, Jensen, bro, I can't. I don't know if it's on my side, but it kind of breaking.
That's all right. No, I'll see if
Jensen is typing. No worries. Okay, so I think maybe it's time is also being kind of we took our time. I think I'm very happy with these calls and just getting everyone kind of at the same virtual room together. Probably should do that more often. But definitely take the discussion on the NFTs to the next level. I think it's definitely that now that we have kind of maybe for a short time we have some kind of bandwidth with fuse kind of being delayed. Maybe it's time to push forward with other frontiers. So maybe the NFT can definitely be one of them. And I think kind of combining that together with the liquidation bots and Twitter, that can be kind of a good combination. So thanks everyone for joining in. We'll take the further discussions over chat. And yeah, thank you.
Bye.